burnout in front of the police station before. Nope, I've never done a burnout in front of a police station.
You're about to. I'm Darren Thompson. I'm here with 𝐵_Diamond_leather, and this is Shop Talk.
Everything that happens is motivation. Everything that happens is motivation.
My 2000 Sierra. I actually bought this from a guy that was parting it out. I thought it was worthy of resurrection, so I've been cannibalizing this donor 𝐂𝐤𝐞 over here to bring it back.
It looks in great shape. Why would someone be parting this out? Was the motor bad or something?
The motor was missing. It was actually a V6 truck.
Yeah.
And now it's a 6-liter V8 truck.
And who did the motor conversion? Who put the new motor
I did.
in? Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I used all the wiring out of the 𝐂𝐤𝐞 and
Yeah.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit about sharpshooters.
I do paint and body work, mostly dealer work.
Okay.
Some insurance work and some restoration.
So if people want to get a hold of you, they can either call you as sharpshooters on Instagram or Facebook?
I don't do social media.
Okay, so if you want him, there's his number and information. Get a hold of him.
This one's an '85 Monte Carlo SS. I actually bought this from the lady who bought it new. 70,000 miles. I would have probably murdered someone for this car when I was 16.
Oh,
like
without
this
a
was
doubt.
the car.
Yeah.
It doesn't get good gas mileage, but every,
No horsepower and bad gas mileage?
Yeah, it's got it, yeah. But everything works on it.
Yeah.
I hit the key and get down the road.
So then what do we have here?
This is a 71 Chevelle. It's nothing special, just kind of a clean old Survivor. It is a real super sport car.
Okay.
Like I said, nothing special. Super Sport was an appearance option in '71, so it doesn't have a high horsepower engine
So no
or
horsepower
anything. Yeah,
things,
it's
yeah.
not anything really, but it's clean. It's nice. It's a good driver. I kind of have a little bit of a soft spot for the '71. My dad had one when I was a little boy, and my first race car was a '71.
Your first race car?
Yeah, I've had a few. I was born in '71, so
Okay.
we're the same age. 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really clean.
Yeah, I rebuilt the engine in it. It is the original engine, but I had to put cylinder heads on it. There was a crack in one of the cylinder heads. So
That looks really good.
again, it's not a fire breather, and it doesn't get great mileage, but it is fun to drive.
So if it's not a fire breather, and it probably really is, I don't know, we'll see, but then there's this one. Let's hear about this one. Is this 300-400 horsepower car?
It's just over 1,000 on motor. It does have nitrous. So if you want to empty your 401, your life savings, your kids' college fund, that's the quickest way to do it.
It looks
Buy
like it.
a race car. You'll clean your account out faster than a cocaine habit.
Goodness sakes.
It's
look
got a
at this thing.
582, big block.
A 582. Is this
It's fiberglass.
fiberglass? Okay, so you can remove it faster?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, good heavens. That's a big motor, isn't it?
It's a tall deck, so
What does that mean for those that don't know, like me, tall deck?
so a standard deck height on a big block Chevy is 980, I think.
Okay.
This one's 1020, so taller this way. Allows for more stroke, longer rods.
Dang.
Nitrous cars have a tendency to catch on fire, so I like the clear plastic there so I can see. I want to know about it as soon as possible.
So you can see the
Yeah,
fire?
exactly. This one also gets poor gas mileage.
How come there's only one seat, though? How are we going to go for a ride in this one with one seat?
You didn't bring your wheel?
Nate, we forgot to grab the wheel. Dang it.
Well, we can scrounge up something. How about a bucket of mud?
Perfect.
Or a helmet. I got a helmet. I've had people sit on helmets before.
Either way. And this car is, I mean, this is really clean too. Did you paint this?
I did, yeah, yeah.
That is really cool. Well, any upgrades that you're going to be doing to the race car?
I have a second kit of nitrous that's been on the car, but I was struggling with the tune for a minute.
Okay.
And I took it off, went back to basics. Now I've got it dialed in. Mm-hmm. I'll probably put the second kit back on it.
And he did say that he was giving me the keys to drive it around his town that he lives in. So we'll just see how that goes. I'm just kidding. Well, okay, one more thing though. Hold on. What's this?
That's my Street Glide.
This is rad.
Yeah, it's a cool little bike.
Yeah.
It's Italian made. They made them for 2 years.
Okay.
I've never seen another one before.
I've never seen one before.
They made them in 73 and 74. I believe this one's a 73.
I was born in 74.
Yeah.
It's what we need for the van, guys. We got one more to show you guys.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite one.
Okay.
Yeah. '64 Coupe DeVille.
This is a pretty car.
This car actually has a really cool story behind it, but I'm a little apprehensive of trying to tell it. I don't want to butcher it.
What's the gist of it?
Well, it's been in and around the same family since it was new. It was bought new in Ogden and serviced by this place. Jason Olin is who I bought this car from, and his dad had a service center.
Okay.
And the guy who bought this car new had it serviced at his place all of his life. And when that guy got to a point in his life where he wasn't driving anymore, the Olins bought this car from him. They bought it from him and restored it. And so it's been around the Olins their whole life. So I'm technically the third owner of the car, but
it really is. I wish you guys could see this in person. It is such a cool car. So what got you into cars?
well, my dad was into cars. My stepdad had a few hot rods.
Okay.
He took me out once when I was 10 or 12. He took me out in his old Chevelle, and we were on a straight stretch. He stopped on the straight stretch and dumped the clutch and rode through the gears. I could remember just being like, wow, again, do that again.
Yep.
And we painted that street black that day and ran it till the fan belt flew off of it.
I love it.
I was done from that point
Yeah.
on. Like, I've just been all about being able to, from the time I stopped, I was ready to do it again. Was waiting for the next time I'll be able to go again.
I love that.
Yeah.
What was his car that he took you out in? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was a 66 Chevelle.
Oh, nice.
327 4-speed car.
Yeah.
Yeah. I once saw a Dodge Neon put down 700 horsepower on a dyno.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, made me want to leave and take my car with me. The car I had at the time did not make 700 horsepower, and it was a V8 car.
Dang.
So I was pretty impressed by that.
Yeah. Now, that's actually...
Still wouldn't build one.
Yeah, but that leads me into a good question, though. Are you impressed more by the numbers that the car puts down than the actual vehicle?
I mean, I'm impressed with how much power they can make with 4 cylinders.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only get so much air through an internal combustion engine of a certain size, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not terribly impressed with let's face it, it's pretty rare you see them actually make a full pass without missing a gear or shooting a CV axle across the racetrack. Like, they're not terribly consistently fast, you know? But the ones that work are pretty impressive.
I dig that.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about, I'm not a race car guy. I think they're amazing, and actually riding in Nate's and riding in yours makes me want one really bad. Like, I was already going. I've already been thinking about ideas for
You
something.
should have one. I could see a 57 Chevy in your future.
That might honestly be a thing.
I'll have to raid my stash of spare parts. That's what we built Nate's car out of.
Oh, really?
The Buick, yeah. The Speed Brownie
Yeah.
was a spare parts car.
Maybe that's what we'll call
The Camaro in the
57,
shop on
spare
the
parts.
There you go. The Camaro on the hoist in my shop.
Yeah,
That's
spare parts.
Yeah.
No crap.
Yeah. Of course, it's depleting, so
Yeah.
you better move fast if you want to do it.
Okay, that's fair. Have you ever thought about turboing your car?
I thought about it.
Or
yeah.
supercharger?
They're miserably hard to stage. They're just uncomfortable, and if you're going to bracket race it, it makes them inconsistent.
Oh.
And that's just my opinion. I can already hear the comments. You know what I mean? Like, not if you know what you're doing. Yeah, I've had turbo cars too. I prefer naturally aspirated cars. The reason I went with nitrous is because I can bracket race that car and not use the nitrous.
Yep.
I can street race the car.
Mm-hmm.
I grudge race the car with the nitrous.
What's your favorite style of racing?
I like bracket racing.
Yeah.
I cut my teeth on bracket racing.
All right, during shop talk, there's some specific questions I like to ask. And my first one,
Lay them on me.
I will. My first one is, if you could go back in time and talk to your 9-year-old self, what do you think you'd tell yourself?
If I gave my 9-year-old, if future self gave 9-year-old self stock tips, would that be insider trading?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I'd still do it.
Yep.
I would try to impress upon that 9-year-old boy how important it was to learn to think critically. A lot of information in the world,
Yeah.
and a good portion of it is bullshit.
Oh man, 100%.
I mean, we got our politicians lie to us, our religious leaders lie to us, media. We got schools teaching ideologies that have no basis in reality. You got your healthcare system that's pushing cures that don't cure anything.
Yep.
So you need to think critically and be able to sift through that to make good decisions. Einstein said that information is not knowledge.
I love that.
Yeah, and so we need to, if we make good decisions, you have a better turnout. If I'd have been a critical thinker at a young age, we'd be having this conversation in my private jet
That's
instead
the
of an
truth.
old Monte Carlo. you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, that's the honest truth, though. It's weird how having the right outlook and to be able to critically think would change so much for an individual. You have a significant other?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Her name is Shannon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does Shannon support your car addiction?
She more than supports it. She's almost complicit. She's super supportive.
Yeah. So she's
Yeah.
like my wife that allows me to make bad decisions when it comes to buying things.
Well, I say to her, I really want this, but it's very indulgent. I shouldn't.
Yeah.
She's like, you work hard. Buy it if you want it. So yeah, she's complicit.
I
but
love that.
but she's very supportive.
Good on you, Shannon.
Yeah.
It's the kind of
Nice
car
work,
guys
baby.
need women like you and my wife. What makes you happy in life
Well,
besides cars and Shannon?
okay. I get a lot of enjoyment spending time with my friends. My friends are top tier. I get a lot of enjoyment with that. I have really good friends. They're always there for me, always. We've had dozens of projects come out of that shop in the last few years, and those guys are always willing to help. They'll drop what they're doing and come help. And they're smart. They're fun guys, and I love them, and I enjoy being with them.
I love that. A good friend group is an important thing to have. And I mean, we have a mutual friend, and if they're anything like him, they're a good bunch of dudes.
Nathan?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So what do you guys do when you hang out? What kind of stuff does this friend group do?
Work on cars, talk about cars, race cars, talk about the next time we're going to race cars or talk about cars.
So cars is what you're saying then, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got a monkey on my back.
So you have a couple of businesses.
I do.
You have a part owner of a car dealership,
Yeah.
and
right.
then also the auto body business, right?
Yes.
What's some business tips or advice you could give to my viewers?
Could I answer with an example?
Yes, sir.
I had a guy that I worked with, brought a car in to my body shop, Z06 Corvette. Told me he was having trouble getting it started. Thought the battery was giving him some issues. So I get the work done. I'm unmasking the car, ready to pull it out of the booth. I turn the key. That engine turns over about a half a turn and kicks a rod out. Yeah,
That sucks.
hard phone call to make.
Yeah. Was he mad? Understanding?
I mean, he took it pretty well considering.
Yeah.
It was a new build, pro-charged Corvette, Z06. Yeah, he wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
But he paid his $6,000 bill, took his car, and away he went.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't hear from him for a couple of weeks. And then he called me and he says, hey, I'm having trouble getting this car to start. He had put a new engine in it by this
Okay.
time. And he says, you mind coming down and, helping me look at this? I said, yeah. Now keep in mind, I've worked with this guy for a lot of years before this all happened.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I'll come down. So I would go down, take a look at the car, and it won't turn over. I start pulling plugs on it. I hit the number 4 cylinder, and fuel just starts dribbling out of the spark plug hole. So what had happened was one of the injectors had been stuck open,
Okay.
something like that.
What
It
a-
filled
yeah.
the engine full of fuel, filled that
So
cylinder.
it was a bomb,
Well,
basically.
the last engine hydraulic, and that's what blew the engine. Filled it can't compress all that fuel in the cylinder. So that's what happened to the engine. So all these times that he was having trouble starting the car,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Huh. And it
However,
just so happened that
it just
blew
so
on
happened
you.
when I had
Oh,
it.
that sucks.
So his friends are saying I'd sue that sorry son of a bitch, and
Yeah.
he was out hot rodding your car, which I do not do to other people's cars. And he asked me, he says, "Did you drive the car?" I says, "Never left the parking lot."
Yeah.
He said, "Okay," and he left it at that. So after this was all done and we were able to really get down to what happened, I said, "Why did you believe me?" I don't know if I would have believed that.
Yeah.
I said, honestly, if it was any other car, a minivan or something like that, then maybe you could buy it. But this particular car, I don't know, especially knowing that how much I like those cars. So he's like, he reminded me of a time whenever he had brought a car in for me to work on. And he calls me up, he says, "I'm selling this car. The guy wants to come to your shop and look at it." And I says, "Yeah, bring him by." He says, "Now when he gets there, I want you to tell him that the car hadn't been wrecked." And he goes down this list, and I said, "Wait, no, I'm not getting involved in that.
Yeah.
That's your deal. I'm not lying to this guy." And he was pretty upset about it.
Yeah.
He was pretty upset. But when this all came back around, he reminded me of that, and he says, "I knew that if you wouldn't lie to that guy you didn't know, you wouldn't be lying to me about this."
Yes.
He says, "I trust you. I know what you say is what it is."
Yeah.
And so that has been the way I do things. Sometimes it doesn't work in my favor. People don't always like to hear the truth.
Yeah, I'd say a good portion of people don't.
Yeah, but that's the way I do it, and I think most people appreciate it. Car guys don't have a great reputation, a lot of them.
Yeah.
So trying to supersede that, get around it.
But it shows what kind of character you have, and good character is where people want to go. They want to be able to be a part of that. They want to be able to If it's a business, utilize the business because they know they can trust them, and trust isn't such a short commodity nowadays that.
Well, I'm not this virtuous guy. If I go fishing, I will look you right in the face and lie about how many fish I caught and how big they were. And,
that's fair.
yeah.
I think that's fair. So, you've been into cars a long time. I mean, as you said, from when your dad took you out.
I'm pretty sure it was genetic, like a chromosome.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think
pretty
you're
sure.
right. So with that, I know that a lot of teenagers have a hard time trying to figure out what direction to go when it comes to cars. It doesn't matter if it's a race car, a lowrider, a hot rod,
Yeah.
a custom truck, whatever. What's some advice you could give some of the younger generation that subscribe to the channel on how to get into cars and what direction to go with them?
I would say the biggest thing I see, work within your skill set.
Okay.
Work within your budget. How many projects have you seen that got torn to the frame, stuffed in the garage, and that's where they went to die?
I've bought a few.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
few.
likewise. Buy the car, get it running, enjoy it, work on it a little bit at a time so you don't get burned out, you don't get discouraged. Just enjoy the car. Don't get in over your head.
What do you see in your future? What are some of your goals and aspirations that you're going for?
You know, I like what I do. I'd like to do a little less work, a little more drag racing. I'd like to take Shannon on some trips. She
Yeah.
would like to do some traveling.
Anywhere in particular she wants to go?
Anywhere but home. She likes to be out and about
Okay.
and going, but like,
So this is the part of Shop Talk where we're getting close to the end.
okay.
And this is where I like to say I'm rolling out the red carpet for you. You can talk about anything you want, bring up whatever subject you want, but the forum's yours.
Well, I would take this opportunity to probably thank my buddies and all the people that have helped me, you know, with all my projects and all my woes. And
Yeah.
there's some real standouts, you know. I'd like to thank those guys and apologize in advance to anybody I might leave out, because there's more than just these four, but there's these four real standouts.
Yeah.
Mark Baird, Matt Miner, Kenton Sellers, Aaron Johnson, and Jake Whitbeck. Jake's helped me a lot. Nate has been there well, now I'm up to 6. I could just keep going. Nate's been my sounding board. So I appreciate you guys. Love you.
I think that's rad. A good shout out to the homies. Well, hell yeah. Well, it's been a rad time getting to know you, getting to see your vehicles,
Yeah.
and having you on Shop Talk. And just so everybody knows, on our Shop Talk, we're always looking for different people to be able to meet up and interview. Doesn't matter if you have a muscle car, doesn't matter if you have a lowrider, a hot rod, a Harley, a jacked up truck, a slam truck, or a Honda Civic. Get a hold of us, let us know, or let us know if you have a friend. But with that being said, I'm Byron. This is my man Darren. We're on Shop Talk with 𝐵_Diamond_Leather. Have a rad day, everybody.
Peace.
looks like he's not nervous at all. So just so everybody knows, that's a police station that we're gonna go in front of.
Let's go. Hold on. Holy shit! Oh, wow. I think we might have pushed our luck on that one. You okay? Yeah. That goes all the way over.
Everything that happens is motivation.
Guys, this is actually incredible. The horsepower